Oh my god! Nuclear holocaust on the drones!
Hello and welcome to UC Davis, StarCraft casting. I am doing this video so we can put some stuff on our UC Davis new YouTube channel. So, why am I doing this? Because I forgot to change that. Alright, so back into the game. So this is going to be a game between IMP Tbeezy, of course, for UC Davis, against Vile Stryker. He sent me this game earlier this month, and it's a TvZ on Metalopolis. I don't know what happens. I know the game length, but that doesn't really tell me too much. We'll see what happens. If you haven't been following UC Davis recently, we've gotten 17 wins and 0 losses. We have our final match coming up this Saturday at 1 p.m. Be sure to tune into our stream for that. I'm not sure if we're going to have a UC Davis stream or if it's still going to be on AlphaFerg. But either way, we're going to definitely have that casted by Chris. I'm not going to be able to do it. But I didn't want to miss out, so I decided to cast this game and hopefully see some cool stuff. So Tim opening pretty standard. Probably going to put down a Rax there as soon as that finishes. No early gas, so no super early Hellion play that I've learned from Tim because he taught me how to do it. We're just going to go into the game and see what happens. Of course, Stryker taking advantage of the close position to scout out this base. Knows Tim isn't there, so he knows the spawning position is cross-map. We'll see what happens. Sending out, it looks like it's going to be a fast expand. A little, you know, zoom in on the hatchery. Cool. And there's the barracks. Pretty standard ZVT so far, nothing too crazy. Taking a look at the APM, of course, both players very good, much better than me at both of these races. I'm a little excited for 1.3 to see the change here to CPM and then APM brought back. Just to, you know, see those fun clicking everywhere, doing random controls and everything like that. And in the meantime, Stryker putting down spawning pool first, no gas in sight, maybe Spanichiwa style. Tim, on the other hand, is getting his orbital command up. And both players are scouting across the map. Tim getting, I think, his first look at the Zerg base. Didn't even scout the position, but I think he could tell because of the way the Overlord was not there. You can see this Fog of War is gone. He scouted with his SCV earlier while I was talking and didn't see the Overlord, so he knew that the Zerg player was over here cross map as well. And he just rallies his SCV around in a circle. Nothing too crazy. Looks like Queens, 2 of them coming out. Really cool stuff. And Tim is just throwing down the command center here. 1 Marine expand. Whoops. Shut up. Okay. And a factory. And it looks like this is going to be a reactor, so he's going to get some Hellions out on the map. And Stryker putting down the extractor. Going to get Ling speed up pretty darn slow, but that's okay. He also has a Roach Warren, actually, so maybe skipping Ling speed, going straight for Roaches off of 2 bases. Getting some saturation here, but it looks like these Hellions are going to be there pretty soon. The Zerg is supply capped, but you know what? He's getting the supply right now to get a lot of Roaches, but he doesn't quite have the gas, so he only has 1 right now. And if he doesn't get a lot more, Tim could be able to produce a lot of Hellions and do some damage. We'll see if he elects to do that. Nice positioning on all of his Overlords. You can see they're across the map. And a Ling here to see when that 3rd timing is from Tim. He'll just leave that Ling there to hang out for a while. And it looks like Stryker is just droning up hardcore. He only has a 1 or 2 Roaches out on the map, almost 0 Lings, and Tim is starting to get those Hellions out. And with 2 orbital commands up, he's going to have a lot of minerals coming in. Still only on 1 gas. And the first 2 Roaches, or Hellions, are out on the field. Where's that Roach? 1, 2. Pretty good positioning. They're going to do some damage while the Hellions try to run by. There's the first hit. Nothing too crazy. And it looks like this game is going to safely transition, no sort of all-in. There's not any fast banshees or anything crazy. Really smart decision to get this early command center, because you can get another orbital command and just have 3 mules, and then when you're ready to expand, you already have the building constructed. You just have to fly it over. You can also put it, like here I like doing when I play Terran, because it forms a nice wall. You kind of control this whole area by putting down a kind of offensive command center there. In addition, you get the orbital command. In comes the Ling, actually. It's not going to get too far, but it will see there's practically no army. Meantime, on the Zerg side, a nice kind of wall in here. I think there's a gap in between these two buildings. There may not be. And he's just running up as well. But in come Hellions, and they scout that poor drone. He wanted to turn into a hatchery, but his life streams have been snuffed out by the fire of mean Hellions. Meantime, Tim is actually getting a lot of nope, just one factory. A lot of barracks, I should have said. It looks like he's going to go heavy bio, and he's probably going to want to put it out on the starport, but he has 4 barracks that are going to be finished very soon, which I like, especially because he has the mineral lead with these 4. You can see his minerals are pretty darn high. Taking a look at his income is even with the Zerg player, but once mules get down, you can see it's skyrocketing about 300 more. Meantime, more drones being produced. Here come the Hellions, because he knows that Stryker is trying to expand. And Tim's just going to start pumping out the bio units. You can see Stims on the way. Siege Tech is almost completed. Siege Tank already there. Lots of SCVs coming out 3 at a time. Always nice. Lots of Lings streaming across the map, trying to chase off these Hellions. They didn't do any damage. And pretty safe openings. I don't see any sort of run-by happening at all. Look at how safe this base is. But again, he'll be safe. He needs to get these poor guys inside. But he'll be able to get a very nice unit, of course. And you can see his timing. See 9:30. You can already see the missile turrets are ready for any sort of early spire. Of course, Stryker not doing that. He is doing a delayed kind of spire. It's only halfway done, but Tim will be ready for it when it is there. And his own starport is going down along with another factory. So Tim's just going to get up a nice 2-base economy right now. When he wants to expand, he has the ability. I wouldn't be surprised if he pushes out to the gold, actually, once he has the siege tank numbers to protect that. But in the meantime, Stryker is getting an early 4th base, so he's probably not going to go too many mutas. He only has enough gas for about 8, and he does have enough supply to do so. So yep, there's 8. And another hatchery, pretty good decision, just to have more larvae, but he does have his 5th hatchery on the way. Armory coming up at a good timing. And there you can see a very nice scout with this Ling is going to see the orbital command when it eventually decides to mosey on over. But Tim's doing a push, and this is an interesting timing because the mutas are out on the map. Ling streaming in. I'm not sure where the mutas are. They're in the main right now, actually. They're flying over. And these Hellions are doing some nice damage there. Oh, they're going to be picked off. One gets killed by the Mutaflock, and Tim knows that mutas are out on the map, but if he sieges up right here, he can take care of this 4th base. Gotta be careful with those mutas. These Marines don't have shields, though. It actually hasn't even started yet. And this 4th is going to go down. We'll see what happens. He does have a lot of Banelings on the way, 7 in production, another Mutalisk, and a lot of Lings. But Baneling speed has not finished. He doesn't have a lot of his upgrades that he's working on. Does manage to snipe a tank right there. Very smart. And I don't think he has enough army here. That's a lot of Lings coming in. The Banelings are coming in. The siege tanks are down. And the last of the Marines is killed off. A very nice attack by Stryker. Both players even on supply. Tim using that opportunity to expand. I really like it. He's going to want to get combat shields. Yeah, there we go. Especially against these kind of mutant numbers, against these kind of Ling attacks. Just getting that simple upgrade allows your stim to give you that much more leeway. And I like this positioning. But Tim is going to have to face a pretty brutal attack. Baneling speed has finished. Flyer level 1 is about done. Burrow on the way. Actually, with these 2 siege tanks, I really like that positioning. He's going to try to move in. But with bunkers and siege tanks, the first siege tank goes down, the second one goes down, a huge baneling explosion. How many workers did it take out? It took out about 9. And the third is pretty much empty in terms of economy. But he does manage to keep the buildings alive, getting it repaired. Or was I crazy? And actually, a lot of mutas going down too. Only 3 left on the map. That is a pretty good move. And he's going to try to drop. Stryker has a very nice Overlord spread here. So nothing too crazy going to come in. And Tim's going to have to rebuild an army, re-secure defense, because there are a lot of lings moving up towards his 3rd base. In the meantime, a drop goes down at the 4th base, and Stryker is moving all of his units down, but he doesn't see that the dropship came in to his main. It's going to land, and his army's going to be on the wrong side. All the roaches, all the mutas, and here comes that second drop in the north, and Stryker just sees it now. He's moving his lings up, but they're going to snipe a lot of these drones, not even bothering to pull the drones. The queen is at half health. Okay, the lings still aren't there. Stryker is busy trying to take out, I guess, that dropship, which he does, but these marines are doing a lot of damage. Taking out that queen, poor queen. And more dropships here, but not too many. Wow, he almost kills. If he isn't careful, Stryker isn't careful, Tim might be able to take out the spawning pool. I think that's going to be enough lings. It is, but here is another engagement. Muta's trying to snipe these siege tanks, but it's not enough. And with these marines, they have a lot of health now. They have stim, a very nice spread. I don't think any banelings are even on the map. There's only 6. Where are they? They're up here. He is preparing to attack again and building a lot more banelings, but he lost the base that he needed. And now he is just even base with Tbeezy. In the meantime, you can see Tim is building a lot more units. And it looks like he's preparing to go more Vikings or dropships. That's maybe going some Banshee or Raven Tech or something like that. But he is in a very good position here. Banelings are coming in, though, and managed to get a really good hit off a lot of those Marines. But a lot of Marines are still alive, chasing away the Mutalists and a Corruptor. And Tim is going to be able to take out this base, perhaps. Stryker just doesn't have enough units on the way. He has some lings in production, but it's not going to be enough. And Tim getting a very nice attack in there, winning the game.